Hello, teachers. I'm about to show you something that I really like doing for my online lessons, and I like to switch it up. So I like to have a lot of different varieties of representations and expressions. So this is the ENVISION math curriculum that we use in my school district. So I go into this, and I was doing this when I was teaching inside the classroom too before the quarantine hit. I was doing this on the smartboard for my students. So when my students see a video like this, it's nothing out of the ordinary for them. And that's one of my mottos when it comes to remote learning, is to keep everything however you were doing it inside the classroom, especially if you have special education. Okay, so I'm going to go into grade 2 ENVISION math, and I would just want to show you some things. If you do have a curriculum that's online like this, that's really accessible for you at home, that's cool. And then since I'm a second year teacher, I really need these teacher's editions before I go into my lessons. So before I actually teach a lesson, I read through all of this in the overview that they have for that chapter. So I'm going to go into fluently add and subtract. Okay, and then it shows it right here, so you get to see everything. Let me X out of this. Okay, so you get to see the Common Core State Standard, the objective, which you really should be repeating that objective in your online lessons for your students, and then the essential understanding, the vocabulary, the materials. Obviously you can't use those, but you could probably virtually use some. And I really like it because it just gives you a rundown. Sorry about that. It just gives you a good rundown of exactly what you need to be really emphasizing in each lesson. So that's just really quickly for you guys to show you guys that. So I'm out of the e-text for the teacher's edition, and then also the online teacher's edition overview. I look at this one as well, just because I want to make sure that I'm not missing anything throughout my lessons, anything in particular that the curriculum designers really want you to get. So once again, I'm going to go into topic 2. Okay. And then it has something you can do to introduce the lesson if you don't have any ideas, if you need any ideas. And for teachers who've been teaching for a long time, they just haven't been doing it remotely, you probably don't need to do all of this. You probably already have that stuff down packed. But for new teachers that just learned, you want to keep yourself really learning and getting better at this stuff. So you probably don't want to just jump into like creating your own lessons. You want to go from the curriculum and then see exactly what the objective is and just stay close to that whole concept. So I'm going to exit out of there. And now I'm about to go into what I really, really like to do. And I'm going to show you. So I'm going to start with add within 100 using strategies. And I'm going to go to 3 because I already did those first 2. Okay, so then what I'll do is, like I said, go into the teacher's edition and read through all this. And I'm just being really thorough right now. I don't want to miss out on any steps because I could skip through and just get started. But basically, I might even screenshot this and put it on Liveboard first, then talk about it first, do a little instructional piece on the objective, which is use an open number line to add tens and ones within 100. And so I'll probably do it like a live board on that, and then I'll go down here and probably take some ideas from that too. And I have beginning level students for special education, so I really have to slowly walk through and just make sure I read through all of the coherence. Students learn how to use an open number line to add 2-digit numbers, and also the rigor, which emphasizes conceptual understanding, procedural skill, and fluency. And so sometimes I go through over here too because I do ask questions And I like to see the examples so I can make sure that I'm doing it correctly. Just like that. And it'll walk you through each page. So I'm going to exit out of there. Let's exit. And then it's going to bring me right back here. And this is what I've been waiting for. It's the interactive student edition. And my students know how obsessed I am with this, because during the school year, I was literally giving them their worksheet, which would look exactly like this. I would sit them at their desk, give them a pencil, and then I'll tell them to watch me on the whiteboard, and I will walk through it like what I'm about to show you. I'll tell them, let's put our name down right here. And this was really good for my students because they actually get to see the same worksheet that they're working on, because they always have questions as to where should they write stuff. So while I'm sitting at the whiteboard, I could tell them right here. And then I will basically read through it. Add tens and ones on an open number line. I can use an open number line to add tens and ones within 100. I can also model with math. Okay, and then I'll basically walk them through this. When I was in the school, the students were able to actually do this with me. Now the students are watching it at home. So I typically do not have them writing anything now. What I'll do is just tell them to listen very closely, and then I'll ask them a lot of questions. Starting off, how can you use an open number line to find 35 plus 24? Write it down here. And then I tell them if they have a pencil and a piece of paper, if it's something simple, they might be able to just copy what I'm writing or draw a line and then write 35 plus 24. Okay, write an equation to show the sum. So we wrote that. Explain your work. So basically, I walked them through it. I'm not about to do it right now, but as you can see, I would basically start at 35 and then walk the students through counting by tens and adding tens and then ones on the open number line. And then I would go to the next page, which I already overviewed, in the teacher's edition, and I'll read through this one thoroughly. It is kind of difficult if you don't have an Apple Pencil, so I do not like to do this on my iPad Mini 3. I only like to do this interactive edition with my iPad Mini 5 simply because I have the pencil and I can go ahead and be as accurate as possible, like if I'm talking about something. And I accidentally do that a lot. So you have to definitely practice and get used to whatever app you're using or whatever website you are using. But hopefully you have ENVISIONs and you can just use it like this. So normally what I do for a regular lesson is I do the guided practice, the solve and share problem first. And then if this is not too lengthy, then I'll do the independent practice with the student as well. But these lessons do get long. So the average lesson when I do it this way is at least 10 to 9 minutes. So you don't really want to go over that, but that's okay. Students need that extra practice, and they understand. The students know we're not in school, so we actually have to take out the time to do this now. Another thing that I do with this is this video. Sometimes it's a video. I'll basically just screen record the video like this.
The essential understanding for this lesson is 2-digit numbers can be broken apart using...
Okay, so sometimes I'll do that before I get into it, just to give students some kind of a background knowledge on what they're about to do. And then another thing I'll do is I'll look at the PDFs and see what they have. And if I like the PDF, if I like the worksheet, then I'll just screenshot this, or you can open it, but I don't like the way it downloads when I do it that way. I actually prefer to screenshot it. And then once I screenshot it, then what I'll do, let me go back to that. If I can get there. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll make it horizontal or vertical. because I don't want it like this. I want it actually to be vertical, so it'll show the entire worksheet. So I'll show it vertically, screenshot it, and then I'll go into, you know what, let me show you. Let me do exactly that, if it'll allow me to. Okay, I can't get the whole worksheet, but whatever. Okay, so I'll screenshot it like that. Then I'll go into Liveboard. And then I'll get the vertical version of the portrait and go get it from here and crop it. It's important you don't crop out what you need. So if you need to use a space, don't crop it out, because they're not going to let you write on it. Okay, then once you get in there, then you have to pinch it on into it. And then I can basically walk the student through this. Put my name here, exactly like how I was before. Do number 1, which addition fact can help you find 9 minus 6. And then I'll walk the students through it just like I would in the classroom. And you can also, if we get back into the schools, print this whole worksheet out, give it to your students, give them a Chromebook, and then click on your lesson wherever you put it at, whether you put it in Google Classroom or you specifically assigned it to a student, or you just had it on Google Drive or a website like I do. Okay, so that's how I use my Pearson ENVISION's interactive student edition. I'm just so excited about it. I love doing these, but like I said, they do take a long time, so I haven't been able to get as many recorded as I would like. I hope you like this.